Boomstick Gaming's first entry into this Game of the Year series focuses on the best titles that came out this year that you might have missed or I feel were generally underappreciated. These hidden gem games do differ from my best indie game entries that's coming up later, but the following nominees are greatly worthy of your attention and might end up surprising you the most this year. Nominee: Underhero. One part Paper Mario style exploration and timing focused turn-based combat, another part Undertale's meta-level world building that constantly breaks the fourth wall, all combined together with an Earthbound style presentation that somehow makes all the wackiness feel perfectly normal. Underhero is a game that has a lot of love and care put into it that is yet to reach anywhere near the heights of its inspiration, but it deserves to stand equally beside them. Nominee: Streets of Red. Streets of Red is exactly the game you're looking for when you have a group of friends over and you're trying to find the perfect thing to pick up for cheap and instantly have a blast with. A brawler-style game with some roguelite elements that is vying for the most video game references in a game ever, and in doing so, comes across as a great celebration of decades worth of gaming fandom. The combat here is initially quite easy to comprehend, making it perfect to pick up and play with friends, but does have some interesting hidden depth to it that greatly rewards you for comboing with your teammates and finishing off enemies with an assortment of special attacks. I will not spoil it here, but the final boss of Streets of Red is one of my favorite video game references of all time, and no one that has at least one friend should miss a playthrough with them in this comical beat-em-up. Nominee: Far Loan Sales. Far Loan Sales is a very simplistic game in concept that manages to stand out thanks to its incredible delivery of visual storytelling and amazing art design. The premise here is simple: move your tiny character around your steampunk-style landship and keep it operational for the entirety of your short but sweet journey, all while battling harsh weather, interesting puzzles, and the never-ending search for precious fuel. An easy game to enjoy in a sitting or two, Far Loan Sales stands out as this year's journey, and just like it, should be required that every gamer of any skill level experience it at least once. Nominee: Sinner: Sacrifice for Redemption. The Souls-like game of the year that skips much of the core exploration from those titles and instead focuses on a tightly crafted boss rush experience. The core combat here is incredibly solid, the majority of boss fights well designed, but the standout feature that made this short but very memorable experience stand out among every other game of the year for me was its unique leveling down mechanic. This system requires you to pick and choose your path through these bosses strategically to take on an ever-growing list of penalties to your character that has the game getting harder and harder by your own design. Although maybe more harshly criticized if the entry fee was higher, the fair price asked for this memorable gauntlet of bosses should be considered by anyone who enjoys a good old-fashioned challenge or takes satisfaction from the learning process commonly associated with taking down a Souls-style boss and overcoming insurmountable odds. Nominee: Starid: Binary Stars. Starid: Binary Stars is a brutally hard shoot-'em-up roguelite that changes every time you attempt it. Collecting different weapons and power-ups is vital if you want to survive this challenging game. A simple damage-weakness system adds just enough depth to reward those who really want to make it to the end, or bring along a co-op partner that might help or hinder your laser dodging prowess. Procedurally generated games such as this don't usually live up to the raw level design of their individually handcrafted counterparts, which is why it's so surprising that Starid not only pulls off a very satisfying roguelite, but also manages to be the best overall shoot-'em-up of the entire year because no shortcuts were taken to make it arbitrarily hard for permadeath's sake, and its core gameplay stands out amongst the entire genre. And the winner of Boomstick Gaming's Best Hidden Gem of 2018 goes to Far Loan Sales. This journey was such a memorable adventure for me because of its effective use of visual storytelling along with its very unique gameplay loop that made it hard to compare Far Lone sales to much else that came out this year. The game does not overstay its welcome and is an active piece of art at nearly every frame of every environment. With many games drowning you in melodramatic text that means little, Far Lone Sails has the most intriguing story of the year and doesn't say a word. Stick around for the next Game of the Year entry being Best Indie Game coming up soon. If you like this style of content, consider subscribing, and if you want to go a little further and show your appreciation of what I do here, hitting the join button below this video makes you a Boomstick Gaming member, which is a great way to help me fund future videos, along with fan donations via Patreon. This has been Deadite, and thanks for watching.